Hi to our beautiful community, and welcome to a special edition of Light the Torch. My name is Ella, and today we are lighting the torch with a woman whose story will absolutely inspire you to pause, to reflect, and reclaim your inner peace. So please help me welcome the incredible Hoda Jaludi, the author of the newly released book, The Retreat Within, A Journey of Healing, Resilience, and Self-Discovery, which is now available on Amazon. And you should know that Hoda's book is more than a memoir. It's a guide for anyone who's faced grief, anxiety, betrayal, or simply the feeling of being lost. And today she's here to share the wisdom behind this powerful journey. So, welcome, Hoda. Thank you for being with us today.
Having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Now, I will ask you some questions so we can know a little more about yourself and your book. So, let's start at the heart. And I want to know what inspired you to write The Retreat Within.
So it has to be my father, God rest his soul. He inspired me. He always wanted me to be a writer, and his journey alone was what inspired everything that I've done thus far. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and then later on, I found out through my psychology degree that he actually was misdiagnosed and he had bipolar. So it was a journey of discovering that, the self journey of having somebody in your life that is struggling through that, and how it affects me as a child, and how when I grew up, all of the journey that I went through and everything that manifested into my life as a child, like anxiety and all that stuff, is what inspired me to write it, because I've met so many people when I was traveling the world who were struggling and opened up their hearts to me. These random strangers that we would have heart to heart conversations. So when I noticed that there's so many people that are going through similar struggles, I knew that it was my job, my mission to share the story and to hopefully teach people how you can find the retreat within.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing about your dad's journey. And if maybe was there a specific moment that made you say, I need to share this with the world?
I think, I think, yeah, probably when I went traveling. I think one of my trips was in Iceland, and I just like met like people randomly. There was a moment where I was climbing this mountain, and I was unprepared. I just wanted to just see the volcano, and I just Googled volcano near me, and I just drove in Iceland by myself, and I was like, I can't find this volcano, so I was just walking and walking in piles of snow, and I'm like, maybe I should head back. And then when I would see people on the journey, like as I'm walking, they were like, I would ask them, I'm like, is there a volcano? Like, can you see it? They're like, yeah, you just have to keep walking. So that moment of just like self-doubt as I'm getting there to see this beautiful view, um, it was just like back and forthness like that. And then finally, I just pushed myself to go there, unprepared, everything like that. I saw the view, I screamed, I'm on top of the world. And then I was just basically stuck up there. And I just prayed to God. I'm like, please, like, I know I'm unprepared. I know I can't go down this. Like every time I would try to go down, I would slip. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to be stuck up here. And it was in that moment, just two random ladies behind me came out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere. And they're like, do you want this? And then they showed me spikes so I can put them on my shoes so I can go down. And I was like, you guys are literally a prayer answered. And from there, I realized that there are so many moments like this where, like, you need to just remove that self doubt, push yourself to exceed whatever you want in your life, any goals. And I think in that moment, I knew I was like, I need to share this. I need to share this story along with the rest of my journey.
Oh, that's it's really interesting what you're saying. And that now that you mentioned that you had that feeling of sharing it, that you wanted to tell your story. And your book dives deep into topics like grief, betrayal, and anxiety, but also healing and self discovery. So now that you mentioned like this feeling of sharing it, what do you hope readers will take away the most?
I really hope that it will help them create a blueprint of their healing journey. I talk about how healing journey is never ending. It's not linear. It's literally just it's different stages of you as a human being and your experience in life. So I really hope like when they read it, they're inspired to create a healing journey, to know that they're not alone in this moment of whatever difficulty they go through. Like I went through so many, as you talked about grief and divorce and deep despair. Like anything you can think of, I pretty much went through it. And for the longest time, I thought it was like a curse, but now I see it as a blessing because it allows me to be really relatable to other people. And I want people to, when they read the book with the psychological insights that are in there and the motivational tips that I put in every chapter, to be motivated that, okay, yeah, I am going through something difficult and I need to focus on creating a healing blueprint. And whenever you go through something difficult, you have this blueprint behind you, and you know that, okay, I'm going through this. This is what I do to make myself feel better. This is how I can come back. Because we all get to have setbacks, right? But it's not about the setbacks, it's about the comebacks. How fast is your comeback? So, yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and I think that you talk about the to be aware of the different stages of your own journey because it's different, and you also talk about the power of creating a retreat within. But can you share what that looks like in a everyday life?
It's definitely rituals. So whatever you do, like I have my morning rituals that I do meditation, I do prayers, I do self-talk, mirror talk. I do a lot of deep breathing and I do every day out in nature because that's for me that nature is very healing for me and I love to be around it. So these are like the little things that I do. And at nighttime, I unwind myself. I try to read something. It's just little rituals that you do that creates this retreat within. And even if you're going through something difficult or like in the moment, the heated moment, you need to have like this thing where you snap back into reality and be like, wait, this isn't serving me. So when you try to find these things, it's going to take time. It's not like something like, oh, this works for me, whatever. You have to take your time to find rituals that make you feel better. So for me personally, it's my morning routine is like non-negotiable. Like, and I tell people, I'm like, I need to be by nature. That is a non-negotiable for me. So there are non-negotiables for you that you need to find that will help you heal within yourself. That you know that this is okay. This is how I retreat. Like if I'm going through difficulties, this is what I need to retreat into. So yeah.
And maybe can you share some small practices that someone can start today that you would recommend?
I definitely recommend 5 minutes in the morning and in the evening. Just start off with that. Do 5 minutes that make you grounded. So whether it's 5 minutes of listening to a meditation, a video on YouTube, or 5 minutes to just stare into something like out your window, 5 minutes to even drink your tea without anything, without nothing, just like literally savoring the moment, right? 5 minutes at night to like journal. I love to journal. One thing that like I'm grateful for, like you don't have to do a whole page, just one thing. One, even if your day went so bad, what is one thing? Like let's say imagine your day went really bad. I'm grateful that I have emotions to experience and I can see this. Like see, you shift your mind, you do a narrative therapy, try to change your mindset. Like that's the most important thing. Remember that things are not happening against you, it's happening for you. So just keep reminding yourself that, and I honestly think that's like the best tip I can give anybody.
I think what you're saying is very important, and to block that time of the day to take time to take care of ourselves is very important because sometimes we just forget it, and I think we need to block that time as you mentioned.
Sure, yeah.
And I know that design, psychology, and travel played key roles in your healing journey. And how did those tools help shift your mindset?
So for me, I've always loved traveling and I've always loved designing. These are the things that I talk about in my book of how I use them as the ways that I could just ground myself when I was a kid, like, just watching Travel Channel, like just imagining this place when I'm going through something so difficult. Like that's what I would do. I would rearrange places. I would rearrange, things like that in my mind so that I can create order around the chaos that I was living in. So with me, when I knew I got older and I knew the one thing that I could do, after my father, God rest his soul, like passed away, I was like, I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna travel to all the places that we spoke about, and I'm just gonna do this and see how it is. So that helped me connect with people, and that's why I did that. And for design psychology, getting into that, I had a background in psychology, and I was also an interior designer. And when I found the program that brought design psychology together and how we can create a space to make people feel better, using color psychology, certain elements that you put in your house, like plants and things like that, I realized that these are also tools that will help you ground yourself. So for me, the traveling part was mostly like a personal thing. I do use it with my business as well, like because I'm a photographer, so I create images, as you can see in the background. These are my images that I would sell and stuff like that. But the traveling bit of it was more of a personal thing for me. It was more of like creating this like mourning period when I lost my father, because it was sudden for me to just kind of like find him in all of these different places. And yeah, and the design psychology aspect is what I love teaching people. How do you create a space within the actual space that you're in to make it feel like a little retreat that you don't have to travel the world?
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's very interesting what you said about the impact it had on your own journey and the way you show it to the rest of the world. And the last question that I have for you is for anyone struggling with their own inner chaos right now, what would you say to them? Some words that you think would be valuable to share?
So if you're going through something difficult, I want you to realize that it's completely normal and take as much time as you need. You don't feel the need to like being bounced back up. You don't have to need to like, all right, like let me like pretend this doesn't happen, this positive toxicity. Like that's not what we're here for. We're here for you to sit with the emotion. Sit as long as you need to, right? Feel it, embrace it, and realize that it happened and it sucks that it happened. But how can we bounce back up from this when we're ready, and what can we learn from it? Because I truly believe like no matter what difficulty you went through, there is a lesson to be learned from it. Whether you find the lesson in 5 minutes or 5 years, there was a reason that you went through it. And if you truly believe that you went through it because it's helping you, it allows the healing process to be a lot easier for you. You'll heal a lot better, and you'll realize like, okay, you know what? I am stronger than this chaos. I am worth living life, and life is beautiful. And this is just another human experience that I'm experiencing right now. And I'm just going to sit with it. And when I'm ready, I'll conquer it all.
Wow, Hoda, thank you so much for sharing your heart with us today. Thank you for sharing all of these aspects about your journey, because I think your story reminds us all that peace isn't something we chase, but it's something we uncover within ourselves. So thank
Yeah,
you so much for that. And now
sure.
to everyone tuning in, the Retreat Within is available right now on Amazon. So if you or someone you love is navigating a difficult chapter, I truly believe that this book could be the guide they need. So just search The Retreat Within by Hoda Jaludi on Amazon, grab your copy, and start your own journey inward. And don't forget that the torch has been lit, so now it's time for you to carry it forward. And thank you once again, Hoda, for your time. It was a pleasure to have you here.
So much.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone watching. I wish you the greatest day.
Bye.